Welcome back to our comprehensive modules on setting up and managing LLCs specifically for real estate investing. Building on Module 6, where we delved deeply into the EIN and IRS registration process from the meticulous step-by-step application guidelines, including 2026's online blackout periods and error codes like Reference 101 that can halt banking, to the tax classification nuances of single-member disregarded entities versus multi-member partnerships and their implications for REI deductions like accelerated depreciation. Module 7. Business Address, Phone and Credibility Setup. This module is pivotal for establishing your LLC's professional footprint, as a credible setup is for unlocking financing, building vendor relationships, and maintaining compliance in the competitive 2026 real estate market, where lenders are increasingly scrutinizing entity legitimacy amid a 12% rise in small business loan denials and heightened focus on anti-fraud measures under the Bank Secrecy Act amendments. A mishandled address or inconsistent contact info can flag your LLC as high risk, delaying property acquisitions or even leading to account freezes. We'll explore this exhaustively, drawing on factual insights from banking regulations, IRS guidelines, and industry reports, pros and cons, real-world investor stories, and explicit do's and don'ts grounded in 2026 best practices. We'll cover physical versus virtual business addresses with granular comparisons. The detailed reasons PO boxes undermine real estate credibility, including lender-specific policies, business phone and email setup strategies optimized for REI operations, the critical importance of consistency across all records to avoid red flags, and the key credibility signals that banks and vendors verify, complete with verification processes and mitigation tips. This knowledge is synthesized from sources like the FDIC's Business Banking Protocols, Dun & Bradstreet's Credit Reporting Standards, and Real Estate Association surveys to ensure your LLC project's trustworthiness from the start. As always, this is educational. Consult a compliance expert or attorney, as state variations and federal updates can affect outcomes. Let's unpack this layer by layer, ensuring every detail ties back to fortifying your real estate business. First, let's examine physical versus virtual business addresses in depth, and this choice forms the cornerstone of your LLC's operational identity, influencing everything from mail receipt to lender perceptions in real estate transactions. A physical address is a tangible location, such as a home office, commercial space, or shared workspace through Regus or WeWork, that must be street-specific and verifiable, often required for state registrations and IRS filings to confirm the entity's U.S. presence. Facts. Under 2026 IRS rules, addresses must be deliverable by USPS for official notices, and physical ones provide a brick-and-mortar signal that boosts credibility. And studies from the National Association of Realtors or NAR indicate that 75% of real estate lenders prefer physical addresses for entity verification, reducing approval times by up to 20% compared to virtual setups. Pros of physical: enhanced trust for in-person tenant meetings or inspections, easier compliance with local zoning laws for home-based REI and check municipal codes to avoid fines up to $1,000, and better integration with services like Google My Business for local SEO, which can increase rental inquiries by 30% per HubSpot data. Cons: higher costs because commercial leases average $2,000 per month in urban areas per CBRE reports. Privacy risks because public records expose your location, vulnerable in high litigation REI niches like short-term rentals, and inflexibility for nomadic investors flipping across states. Virtual addresses, provided by services like Virtual Postmail or Earth Class Mail, start at $20 per month and offer a professional street address with mail scanning and forwarding, ideal for remote REI management. Pros: cost-effective because you save 80% versus physical leases, you get privacy protection because it masks your home, and scalability for multi-state portfolios. 2026 trends show 60% of digital nomad investors using virtual for compliance without physical ties. Cons: some lenders like Wells Fargo's business lending division scrutinize them as mail drops, potentially requiring extra proofs like utility bills, and they're invalid for registered agents in states like Delaware, and must be physical in the state. Do's: opt for commercial mail receiving agency compliant virtual addresses and Form 1583 required for USPS authorization, and you should verify with lenders pre-setup. Don'ts: use free virtuals and mix with PO boxes because it makes it worse with credibility issues. Don't change frequently because it can trigger IRS mismatch audits. In REI. Expanded story, investor Jamal in California used a home physical address in 2025 for his rental LLC, but faced privacy breaches when tenants found his residence via public records, leading to harassment and a $3,000 security upgrade, and by switching to a $50 per month virtual address preserved professionalism, streamlined a $500,000 refinance approval, and allowed focus on acquiring 2 more properties without exposure. Knowledge. 2026 BSA updates mandate banks to verify addresses via site visits or third-party databases like LexisNexis, making virtuals with strong providers more viable. Next. Why P.O. boxes hurt real estate credibility. Even though this is seemingly convenient option, it can sabotage your LLC's standing, as it's viewed as transient and non-verifiable by key stakeholders. Facts. P.O. boxes are U.S. Postal Service boxes starting at $20 per year and are prohibited as principal addresses in most state LLC filings, flagged by credit bureaus like Dun & Bradstreet, which assign lower PAYDEX scores below 70 to box users, per their 2025 analytics report, showing a 25% higher denial rate for business credit applications. In real estate, lenders like Fannie Mae require verifiable physical locations for entity mortgages, and P.O. boxes fail Know Your Customer checks under 2026 FinCEN rules, potentially classifying your LLC as high risk and hiking interest rates by 0.5 to 1%. Pros of avoiding them. Builds DMB profiles faster are essential for vendor net 30 terms on materials. Enhances tenant trust because 3 is a professional address on leases and complies with IRS mailing requirements for audits. Cons. Alternatives cost more upfront as virtual addresses are about $240 per year versus P.O. boxes are $100. Dos. Use P.O. boxes for secondary mail if needed, but list physical or virtual addresses as primary. Audit your setup with free D&B checks. Don'ts. 1. Rely on P.O. boxes for banking because banks like Chase denies accounts for this too. Ignore state rules because places like California imposes $250 penalties for invalid addresses. Story depth. Flipper Lena in Florida used a P.O. box in 2025 for her LLC thinking it sufficed for privacy. Her credit app was rejected by 3 lenders citing unverifiable location, delaying a $200,000 flip and costing $10,000 in lost profits. By upgrading to a virtual address rebuilt credibility, securing funding and enabling 3 successful deals. Knowledge. 2026 sees 40% of REI LLCs flagged for P.O. use in audits, per IRS stats. Business phone and email setup because these contacts are your LLC's lifeline, facilitating tenant communications, vendor negotiations, and lender verifications in REI. Facts. Use dedicated lines like Google Voice at $10 per month or RingCentral at $30 per month and emails through Google Workspace $6 per user per month to separate from personal, as commingling risks veil piercing in lawsuits, and are successful in about 15% of cases per ABA Journal. Pros. Professionalism boosts response rates like 25% higher tenant inquiries via branded email per Zillow data and enables CRM integration for lead tracking. Cons. Added costs which are $100 to $300 per year as well as setup time. Dos. 1. Use VoIP for scalability. 2. Secure with 2-factor authentication. 3. List on all docs. Don't. 1. Use personal numbers because of privacy risks. 2. Use free emails like Gmail. Consistency across all records is vital to avoid flags, as mismatches trigger 30% of bank denials per FDIC. Facts. Align state, IRS, bank, D&B, Dos, audit quarterly. Don'ts. Overlook updates, credibility signals banks and vendors verify. You should include D&B registration, consistent docs, positive reviews. Facts. Banks check systems. Vendors D&B. Dos. Build early. Don'ts. Ignore negatives.